Hello, I just want to show everyone where we are with the 1940 census project. So at this point, I think we have a system down that's going to work really well for segmentation. Yeah, so I'm going to walk you through this process, and then we'll talk about the next steps and what we can expect. So we start with the census image like this. The first step is we have an object detection model, a computer vision model that kind of gives us the box. So that looks like this. So we kind of crop out everything other than the box itself. At this point, we do another object detection thing to get the columns we care about. In this case, it's education, column 14, occupation 20, was that 28, and industry 29. And the cool thing about the object detection that we're using is it also gives us a mask. So in other words, it tells us not just where the box is, but like not a bounding box around the column. It also tells us exactly which pixel inside of that bounding box it thinks is a part of the column. So once we get that, what I do is I whiten all the pixels that are not a part of the column, basically. So I just make everything that's not part of the column white. So you'll see as I go down, the edge of this is all white because the column's maybe a little bit skewed. Once we get the kind of whitened column, I kind of straighten it using that mask and crop it so that, in this case, it doesn't change that much, but yeah, so we have a straighter column than we did. But the problem with these is that it's not always great at the top and bottom of getting it right on the line. And so we need a way of kind of figuring out where exactly this line is right here, where the column actually starts. And so we do another object detection model to detect where this this row right here is, the column number is. And so then we crop out the top. So that'll look like this, where now the top is cropped and we just start right at the first row. And then we do the same thing with the bottom. So again, the bottom's not always right on the line. So in this case, instead of doing object detection, we do line detection, take the bottom 50 pixels of the image and find that line and crop at the line, basically. So now we have a column that's relatively straight and the top and bottom are cropped. So now we use a combination of just knowing that these are evenly spaced and finding these lines to crop each individual row. And now this is back to full size. So this is what the actual image will look like. You'll have these rows that are pretty well split up. We add like 5 pixels to the bottom of each of these images just to give a little bit of wiggle room there. And then these are the images that we feed into the handwriting recognition models. Now we do this for each of the 3 columns. So I can kind of quickly scroll through what it looks like for each of the columns. This is the occupation column. Crop off the top. We then crop off the bottom. And then we split the image into each of the rows, each of the 40 rows. And then we do it for education as well. We have the straight inversion of the column. We crop off the top of the column and crop off the bottom, and then we split. So this is working really well. We will add some extra training data as well, just to make sure that these models are pretty robust to the state or the lighting of the image or things like that. But I think it's going to work really well. Handwriting recognition, we've trained a couple models. The output's still not great. But I think we figured out some of the issues with our training data because we were using some of the 1930 census that had some unique characteristics. And so we are going to kind of eliminate those weird situations in the 1930 census and combine it with some of the training data we've created for the 1940 census and create a model for that. So today is Tuesday the 2nd, March 2nd. And so I think by the end of the day, we should be able to be running this process on states. We generally go one state at a time, and a state takes a couple hours. So we should be able to get most of the states done in, by the end of the week. And now the main things that will take a little bit of time will be getting this handwriting recognition model. We're hoping to get one working today. If we do, we'll start completing states by today or tomorrow, because handwriting recognition can run pretty fast. And then every once in a while, this code will run into an error when the object detection doesn't find something. So it won't find the top of the column, for example, is the most common one right now. And that's because we didn't use a very big training data set. So we will, while we do this, be creating that a larger training data set and training on that model. So those two things will be the things that will add a little bit of time. But I think by the end of this week, we'll have this whole thing running really smoothly. And so you can start sending output to Family Search or to whoever wants it. Yeah, by the end of the week, I think. We'll let you know if there are any hiccups or if the handwriting recognition model isn't good enough or things like that. And if that's the case, we'll just have to create, a bigger training data set for it to learn from. But yeah, let me know if there's any questions, and hopefully that's helpful.